A winter storm making its way through the Triad. Right now, it is dangerous to drive. You can tell from this photo in Winston-Salem. A first-person perspective from Liberty also shows just how hard it is to even see the lanes on the road. They are completely iced over, and it doesn't take much to lose control of your car. Plus, check out this fiery scene in Blowing Rock. A town posted. They said the element's not letting them stop being firefighters from battling the flames at Vista Rocco. So far, no injuries there. They're still trying to figure out what caused this fire. And here's new video just into the newsroom. If we can take a look at it from our photojournalist. Oh, how beautiful downtown Greensboro is. Take a look as our drone pans across. Redbird 2 getting a great view of the roads there. Our Nixon Norman even having some fun in the snow, doing an ice angel there. Lots of people even sledding, trying to enjoy what they can before the worst of this storm happens, because we are not through the worst of it yet. Now take a live look at Burlington, where snow is covering roads and rooftops. Underneath that fresh powder, a layer of ice in Winston-Salem here, making conditions really hard to drive in. Throughout the whole storm, we have got you covered. Our entire team is spread out across the Triad for this WFMY News 2 Weather Impact Alert Day. Good afternoon, I'm Ben Briscoe. We didn't get much snow, but kids will still get their snow days. Just over an hour ago, we learned Randolph County schools will be closed tomorrow. The Alamance Burlington School District will have to go remote learning, and Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools will also be closed tomorrow and Tuesday, too. You know, Guilford County schools had previously scheduled a teacher workday for tomorrow, so they were already out. We're still waiting to hear what their plan is for the rest of the week and all the other school districts. Our meteorologist Alex Williams has the latest on this snowstorm. It was freezing rain last night earlier than expected. Are we still dealing with that, or are we back to sleet?
Well, it's almost kind of a fine snow out here in the weather garden. It's not bouncing. So how to tell if it's sleet, how to tell if it's snow or freezing rain? Does it bounce when it hits you? If the answer is yes, it bounces, then it's always going to be sleet. This not bouncing, it's just lightly falling. So I would say this is dendrite, some snow still falling here, still enough cold air. However, the cold will be relinquishing command at the surface. Maybe not at the surface, but upstairs we'll get a lot more warm air. And so we are concerned as we go through kind of the evening hours that we'll see a second batch of some rain that moves through. It could be locally heavy, and temperature here maybe in the 20s. So of course that sparks the concern for a quick burst of freezing rain that could accumulate maybe say 1/4 of an inch up to 3/10 of an inch of ice, and that still could cause some sporadic power outages. And then of course it just gets cold as we go into next week, that not going away. So as far as those impacts go, they've come down a little bit, but still very much concerned, especially with maybe another round of that freezing rain tonight, and it could be moderate freezing rain. Then again, if it comes down very heavy, it's not going to accumulate very well, because it'll hit and kind of run off. Now, that's not going to help the road conditions. Road conditions are pretty messy right now. Really stay off them unless it's an absolute emergency, because as we continue to add precip, and then if we get that burst of freezing rain on top, that'll be a glaze of ice or more on top of already some treacherous conditions. Look at some of these wind chills falling into the single digits across the Triad. Very, very, very cold air at the surface. No doubt about that. And it's not really going to be going anywhere anytime soon here. So there is your latest updated totals for the freezing rain. We are expecting again another burst maybe from about 4 to 8 o'clock this evening. And so we're looking at maybe 1/4 inch to about 3/10 of an inch of freezing rain there. And that is what our model is showing, that pink freezing rain. Of course, right now it's not doing so well because it says it's freezing rain, and this is obviously not freezing rain, it's snow. And so we might get maybe a little bit of this light snow and then start to change over to a little bit of a light drizzle as we get closer to the passage of what is a secondary cold front. That is what's creating the vigorous uplift and going to bring that burst of heavy freezing rain, maybe some sleet, and maybe even some thunder in there. So maybe some thunder sleet, some thunder freezing rain. It might be an exciting night ahead for us. Don't buy those numbers. They get too warm. because we are going to be very cold and it's going to be very hard for us to warm the teens that much as we go into the evening hours. But then again, we're going to be falling temperature-wise as we go into our early Tuesday morning. There is our storm you can see right along that cold front there where that vigorous uplift is occurring. We are getting heavy rain. I know my folks back in East Tennessee said it's just plain rain there because it has warmed up so much. So any of the wintry fun they had is gone. For us on our side of the mountains, we're locked in on that cold air wedge. And so that's what's creating the wintry precip still falling at this hour. So yeah, regionally still dealing with some pockets of maybe some light snow here, maybe further to the south, some freezing drizzle. And again, we're concerned about that accumulating. We've seen several reports already of freezing rain, of sleet, of snow. You name it, people are reporting it. We'll break into a little bit more of those reports in our next hour here of coverage and seeing what we're seeing. But I do want to still point out the fact that a 1/4 inch of ice, that's not to be messed with. We definitely could see still some power outages, especially if we do see that second round of freezing rain. If it stays sleet, that's great. If it turns to freezing rain, not so great. We'll continue to keep you updated here on those changing weather conditions through the day.
In Alamance County, they are preparing to set up community disaster shelters if there are widespread power outages. But that depends on how much ice falls. Bryce, are you seeing more of it coming down right now?
Yeah, so right now we've been all throughout Alamance County. We've been in Burlington, been in Graham, been in Elon. Kind of the consensus really is that these roads to the right of me, if you see them, these are main roads right now. This is East Maple Avenue by Chapel Hill Road. See this car going by. Slush all on the roads, whether it be ice, snow, sleet. It's just creating a sticky situations. However, these side roads are really what's going to be the problem here in Alamance County. Those have not been plowed yet. We have saw some plows go by on these main streets, but again, they have not been able to get to these secondary side or residential areas. Now, what you're seeing right now is a power and tree removal truck. In this parking lot, we're going to show you right here. We're going to walk slowly so that we do not fall and slip because, again, it is very icy out here.
Looks like a lot of those energy trucks stationed out of Granddaddy's Antiques over there. Love that place, love the neighborhood, and I feel like they're there to help. The National Guard says it has more than 450 troops on standby and about 180 vehicles ready to go if needed. They have even 2 Black Hawk helicopters if things get really bad. They're also delivering equipment and critical supplies to the staging areas. Taking another look at Duke Energy's outage map here, it looks kind of like a normal Saturday in our area, but the bigger concern right now is in the mountains. The area faces thousands of outages this afternoon. In Asheville, a group of volunteers has been driving around town, even handing out blankets and giving out extra coats to people without power. Closer to Greensboro, we aren't seeing many power outages yet, but if freezing rain ramps back up, Duke Energy says it's possible thousands of customers could lose power. No power means no heat. That could cause a serious threat to you and your family. So what can you do to stay warm? Tanya Rivera explains.
1 minute the lights are on, the next minute the winter storm knocks the power out. Warmth is now the focus, so put towels along the bottom of your doors and your windows to keep cold air from sneaking in. Then you're going to want to go through your house and you're going to want to make sure every inside door is closed. And now it's time to pick your command center in the storm.
What we want to do is we want to create kind of a microclimate inside the house, a warm room, if you will. That's what we're looking to do. So think about this. However your home is designed, there are going to be rooms that are on the exterior of the home, maybe bedrooms or sort of things, and there's going to be a room that's more center, maybe the family room.
During the day, open up the blinds in your warm room and let in as much sunlight as possible. At night, cover the window with a towel or a blanket. For extra warmth, set up a tent inside your designated warm room. A blanket fort, it can work just as well too. That smaller area really helps lock in the body heat.
And if you do start to get a little chilly, do a little light exercise, step up and down, whatever the case may be, get the blood flowing. That will warm you up as well and help warm up the room.
you're going to need to layer up inside that very cold house. And we're looking at 3 different layers. We need an outer coat, a sweater, and like an inner base, like an undershirt or long johns. You want to avoid cotton for this base coat because it will soak up your sweat. It's going to make you more cold.
Another thing about this cold, it creates a lot of chaos for all the electronics like our equipment. Bryce, I know you had some microphone problems, but you got it back up and working. What's it like out there besides cold?
Yes, like you said, this cold, the ice that is kind of hurting electricity here. We have power companies behind us. We're going to show you. These are dozens of trucks who are waiting to respond to any power outages that might happen here in Alamance County. Like we said, dozens of trucks. They're coming from all over the country. So as far as Kansas, Iowa, Michigan, just to be able to respond to outages here in North Carolina whenever they might happen. There's also tree removal services responding to down trees, down wires. If the event happens where this freezing rain turns into ice, these trees start to fall, limbs start to fall on power lines, where it just becomes a very sticky situation. We have seen a lot of freezing rain coming down in the last 10 to 15 minutes here in Alamance County. Again, like we said, we have been driving all over the county today, from Elon to Burlington to Graham. The conditions have really just been the same. The freezing rain really is coming down, creating bad situations on the road and possibly bad situations for our power lines and down wires. We talked to one an electric company coming from Kansas who said you might see these kind of trucks lined up. You're saying, oh, they're not responding yet. It's because they're waiting to hear from Duke Energy or different power companies who are letting them know when and where to respond. So just because they're sitting doesn't mean they're not working. They're just waiting to go exactly where they need to go and respond. So we're going to continue to give you updates here from Burlington, from Alamance County all day. Again, these are dozens of trucks who have come all across the country just to help us here in the Triad. Reporting live in Burlington, Bryce Parker, WFMY News 2.
While Bryce was talking there, we just got an update from Davie County. Our Department of Transportation person up there says that they're completely covered with snow and ice, both the interstates and the primary roads, not even to mention the secondary roads. Right now, NCDOT crews are continuing to scrape roads where they can, trying to make it safer as soon as possible. Division 8 crews started this morning on roads where salt has activated. That means it loosened the thin layer of ice on top. They will work 24/7 until the roads are clear, starting with the major roads. Make sure not to crowd the plow. Give the driver space to do their work. NCDOT is expected to give an update on road conditions and its current operations in about 2 hours from now, coming up at 4 o'clock. We're going to bring you the latest from that news conference right here on WFMY+. With ice such a big deal in this storm, it's important to remember just how dangerous it can be. Meteorologist Becca Birdsall has an important reminder for all of us.
When we talk about ice storms, the amounts often sound small. 1/10 of an inch, 1/4 inch, maybe even 1/2 inch. But ice is one of the most damaging winter hazards we face.
Unlike snow, ice coats surfaces like clear cement, and as that coating thickens, the impacts increase quickly.
Ice storms form during a specific atmospheric setup. Cold air is trapped near the ground while a layer of warmer air sits overhead. Snow melts into rain as it falls through the warm layer that becomes super cooled in the shallow cold air near the surface. Now, when those drops hit trees, power lines, roads, or sidewalks, they freeze on contact, creating ice.
1/10 of an inch of ice, often called a glaze, can still be dangerous. Roads, bridges, and sidewalks become slick and hard to see. Damage is usually limited at this level, but travel quickly becomes hazardous. At 1/4 inch of ice, impacts escalate, and this is an important threshold because an ice storm warning criteria is met at 1/4 inch or greater, causing tree limbs to snap, roads to become blocked, and scattered power outages. A 1/2 inch of ice represents a major and often destructive ice storm. Ice at this level can add up to 500 pounds of extra weight to a single power line span. Power lines and poles can fail, leading to widespread outages and long recovery times. With ice storms, preparation is key. Charge phones and backup batteries ahead of time and have flashlights, extra blankets, and enough food and water to last at least a couple of days in case of power outages. I'm meteorologist Becca Birdsall.
Depending on where you live, your county might have an easy way for you to get weather alerts. Guilford, Alamance, Randolph, and Forsyth County all have alert systems that will send important information on updates on the storm right to your phone. For those in Guilford County, you can sign up for alerts on readyguilford.org. If you're in Alamance County, search for ACE Alerts. Those in Randolph County can sign up for React on randolphcountync.gov. And Code Red is only available to county residents living outside of Winston-Salem. Those in Winston-Salem should sign up for Smart 911. You can find both on forsyth.com. Of course, download the WFMY News 2 app. We'll send alerts right to your phone as well. Continuing our live coverage now, our team is all over the Triad, including our Amber Lake, who's in Archdale. Amber, what's it like out your way?
Ben, I have two things to show you right now. One of which is a water bottle that I put in the garage when my husband and I came outside to get the driveway clear. He got the driveway clear. I didn't do anything. But right now, this bottle of water is like slush because it's been sitting in the garage. And because it's so cold, it's just like an icy slush right now, which is kind of crazy. I also want to show you my car. So whenever I started kind of brushing off our cars, I mean, it's coming off pretty easy because obviously this is a pretty, a soft snow that's on top. But once you get down, look at this right here. Listen to it. That's ice. So underneath this snow right here, it's ice. Both of our cars, as well as the road, is covered by just a beautiful blanket of snow and then ice underneath it. So let's walk out to the roadway right now. You can see we have a beautiful winter wonderland that we woke up to. I mean, it's great. It's snowy, but it's not like you're making snowmen. It's not like you're making snowballs in this because you can't pack it at all. But this is the road. I mean, you can see the tracks, and it's not even going down to the road because there's just so much snow and so much ice underneath that. We've had trucks, we've had four-wheelers, side-by-sides going up and down this road, and still, it's not making a dent in this at all. I mean, obviously, when you come to Randolph County, you are expecting a lot of these rural roads to look like this because snow plows and different trucks that come out here to clear these roads aren't able to really get to those rural areas. That's why they close school. That's why Randolph County schools are closed on Monday. I mean, a lot of these roads are going to stay pretty bad for a while.
Amber, it looks like you got a ton of snow out there. We didn't get that in Greensboro. I'm so jealous. But my question is, what about ice? Because that's what we're really worried about. Can you show me maybe the trees? Is there a layer of ice building up?
Yes, I will show you the trees. Let's walk across the street. We're being safe. Nobody's driving through right now. But when it comes to the trees, there's nothing on our trees at all. I mean, there was a little bit of snow, but you can't really see. I mean, there's no ice. This tree seems to be fairly bare. And that's what it's funny that you even asked that because my dad called me this morning and he said, well, I don't have ice on the trees. That means that the trees aren't going to fall. And I'm like, you just wait. It might happen. It might still happen. So we really are preparing. I do want to talk a little bit about the plows that come through here. I was able to get in contact with someone on social media who plows. He has a business where he plows streets, and out of the goodness of his heart, he's going to be going through the different neighborhoods that don't typically see the larger plows and making sure those roads are clear, making sure people can get in and out. He's supposed to be coming through here anytime today, so I'm hoping to talk to him. But I mean, as you can see, the trees are bare for now, but it is starting to kind of mist a little bit out here. It kind of feels like a little bit of sleet with a little bit of snow. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if you can see it in the darker area. But something is starting to come down right now. So we'll see if that sticks to the trees. I'm hoping not because I have some pretty large limbs that are hanging above my house right now. So fingers crossed for us over here.
Fingers crossed indeed. Hey, I'm glad to see not a lot of people out on the roads. What are you doing at home to stay entertained? You having a movie marathon day?
Oh my gosh, Ben, you and the entire station would be so jealous when I tell you this. I am baking. I baked homemade cinnamon rolls yesterday. I baked homemade biscuits this morning. I made a gnocchi soup. I'm going to be making cookies. I'm just like in the kitchen because that keeps me busy. I've been doing my laundry like we've been talking about. I've been cleaning my house just in case we do lose power, just because I don't want to get backed up on the laundry and the house cleaning if we do lose power. My husband has been watching sports. He's excited that there's football on today, so he's excited to watch that. My dogs are currently staring at me through the door right now, so they keep me pretty entertained too. They're loving this weather. They love how cold it is, but I do want to let everyone know who is a pet owner. Obviously, you know, pets typically love this type of weather, right? My dogs love just rolling around in the snow, but it is very, very cold out here. So you have to make sure that your dogs are not spending too much time out there. Ben, I know that you have a dog. You probably don't let your dog spend too much time out here either. But I mean, it is extremely cold, and we have to keep an eye on their paws as well.
Absolutely, Amber, you're right on. By the way, I'm not that jealous because I know you're going to bring some of those good baked goods to the station next week. Can't wait to try them. Thanks.
You got
Thanks
that right.
so much. You stay safe out there.
Well, it sounds like, you know, Amber needs to be home a little more often, and then we get all sorts of different treats if she likes to work in the kitchen there. Stay safe, Amber. Thanks for the report out there from Randolph County. And you know what? A lot of us just very thankful to see the white stuff on the ground and not have to be dealing with inches or at least quarter-inch of ice. Now, we still may not be completely out of the woods yet, but we are starting to see the winter storm dial its power down as it starts to move and kind of put its brunt force into New England. We're not done yet. We still have to get that second cold front to come through tonight into Monday, and that's going to lift a bunch of moisture out ahead of it. And so we will see some impacts as we go through kind of the evening hours, probably from about, say, 4 to 8 o'clock. We're going to have to watch that batch move through. And so right now, just some light, again, I would almost call it a little bit of some light snow, but I'm trying to see if it's starting to change more into that mist. No, there's still dendrites in there flying around. So we're still getting that very, very fine snow. Why? Well, the temperatures are really, really cold, right? And so because the temperatures are so cold, we can't hold a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So you get very, very fine, dry snow that forms because of how cold it is. We just don't have the moisture from that. It hasn't stopped people from, you know, bringing in some reports here, especially from last night, some of those freezing rain reports. We've seen, of course, other reports as well. We've seen snow reports. We have seen sleet reports. And so lots of that falling across the area. You saw some of those totals in the earlier hour here. But there's that second half of the system. This is what we have to watch because it's going to be moving into some very cold air, and it's very warm. So we're going to put a lot of warm air over a very thin layer of cold air at the surface, albeit it's very cold. So we will either get sleet maybe out of that, but I think more likely we're going to deal with a quite heavy batch of freezing rain moving through, and that's just not good news for anyone. There's all the reports. Again, lots of those to sort through, and we'll read a couple of them to you as we continue to go through our coverage here. But there is the freezing rain as it continues to track off to the east. Again, we could get hit between that 4 to 8 o'clock hour with some of that freezing rain, freezing drizzle coming through. And then just because it's not showing any precip doesn't mean we quite dry up that fast. And don't buy these temperatures. These are definitely overestimated. So again, 1/10 of an inch of ice there, creating some glaze. We could see still up to about 1/4 inch, and that definitely could cause maybe some moderate power outages there. So as far as the power outage index, I've kind of dialed it back since we're not going to see such a crushing ice storm, it looks like, and that is very, very good news. But still, we're bringing in wind on the backside of that as well. So dangerous wind chills could be in the future for us, as well as maybe some extra power outages. That'll be something we'll just have to watch.